Good morning. It's Monday morning here on a sunny summer day in Columbus, Ohio, where I'm reporting from. And actually, we are getting ready to leave already this morning to get to a baseball tournament. This is what we do all summer, and this is actually our last real baseball tournament of the summer. I say real because next weekend, get ready to laugh, my husband and three boys are all participating in a wiffle ball tournament. You heard me right, wiffle ball, like Channel in Sandlot meets plastic hole shape holy ball, yeah, they're really doing that. So I guess that's not any more strange than me doing a color run. I'm probably too old for such things, but that's okay. So all of these summer activities here in my face, summer activities culminating this week. I'm sure that your life looks a lot the same. Maybe not the same activities, but there's things, right? Things that are pressing and urgent, and then you have this paper over your head. Hopefully you can kind of lift that burden off this week and get most of it kind of squared away. A couple things that I want you to help you kind of put it in the box and keep it there. A couple things that I'm going to be looking for so that you know. The first thing I'm going to focus in on when I grade your actual papers the following week is going to be the thesis statement. And I'm looking for a very clear sense of argument. You should have a naysayer embedded in your argument. So for example, although summer baseball is something I look forward to in watching my children, when reality hits by mid-July, I'm ready for it to be done. Okay, now that's just cheesy, but playing on my little, here's what I'm doing today story. But for your topic, I had a student once write a really great paper on, although holistic and natural remedies have value in the medical world, more regulation needs to be enacted in order to keep people safe and from harming oneself or something like that. And the whole paper was about how holistic medicine is still medicine, and people are treating it like because it's natural, that any amount of it's good for their bodies, and there's been cases of death and sickness caused by not regulating these things. So, and that was obviously her argument. In fact, you might be thinking, oh, I disagree with that. That's okay. But having a nod to the naysayer is important in this persuasive or problem-solving paper, which brings me to the second thing I'm going to look for. I'm going to make sure that you're really truly persuasive all the way through, that you don't get caught up in information and not get unstuck from that. The third big thing I'm going to be looking for is that there are internal citations in every paragraph. Even your introduction and conclusion should have one technically, not as picky on that, but that with those internal citations, that they're not just representing quoted material, that they actually are representing any time you reference any material. So this is not just to say, you're not just, I think I was taught that citations were to give credit to the source. That's partially true, but you're saying that this is an academic research piece, that if I wanted to research more on your topic, I would know where to look. Okay, so it's a reference as much as it is giving credit. You're not saying that I didn't know this before, because there's some topics that I could research. I think I gave the example of concussions or sports injuries in young athletes. There's some things I know just from doing casual reading through the years and from hearing other students, hearing students talk about it and so forth, and listening to my husband who's a coach. But even if I knew it before, I have to cite it. I once, in my early teaching years, had a student write a whole paper and used for his citations me, myself, and I. And we went round and round. He said, I knew all of this off the top of my head. It's a topic I know a lot about. And I said, that's great, but the next person who researches this doesn't know who you are. You are a 10th grader. Okay? You need to have something to build your credibility and to offer out to the rest of the academic community a place to start with their research. So hopefully that clarifies. So thesis with a naysayer, internal citations, persuasion, or problem solving. I think the final thing that I would ask you to consider is when you organize your paper, consider using subtitles. This is not a mandate, but sometimes we get caught up in this mindset that we can only have one paragraph for each topic, and then we have these ginormous, that's my kid's favorite word, these ginormous paragraphs. You want to break down your ideas, but if you want to show how those paragraphs link to one another, One way, besides transitions, which are necessary, are little subheadings. I always say subtitles, something different. Subheadings, and in those little subheadings, you can kind of link together paragraphs. Just an idea. Okay, so the final thing that I wanted to bring up to you is the idea of transitions and meta commentary. I've said that to several of you. Talk about what you're talking about. Don't just throw a quote out there. Don't just throw an idea out there without chewing it up first, okay? It's like swallowing food whole. It's hard to digest. And to a reader, you might feel like to a writer, you might feel like you're being repetitious, but to a reader, I need to know how you're processing. I need to know how this idea fits with this idea, fits with this idea. And this can help you also so that you don't end up with a paper that one paragraph is devoted to one source, the next paragraph to another source. It shows you how you're synthesizing and processing the information. Meta commentary can sound something like this. Well, such and such source says blah, blah, blah. Another source adds or contradicts it when they say, or this quote shows, through this comment by author X, one can see that, okay, that kind of stuff. So as far as personal pronouns, keep it academic, keep the yous out of it. That's really important, and make sure you're keeping your academic style up to snuff. If you need more help on meta commentary or on framing your thesis statement, there are some really good sources online that have templates for this, and I can either post that or you can request it. I have had some of you request these templates, or you can even do a little Google search. I like to look up they say, I say templates, and there's some really good stuff out there that will help you with transition words, will help you frame your quotes and transition into the quotes so that they're smooth, and basically they'll teach you the meta commentary moves that you might find helpful to make your writing have that particular edge. Okay, that's all for this week. Happy editing. You only have one assignment. You're drafting your paper and posting what you have done of it, and then you're editing. Try to aim to have something posted by Wednesday, Thursday. It's not your entire paper, but let's try to do more than a first paragraph. And that's all she wrote, so have a good week. Bye-bye.